What's up, YouTubers? This is J Cool Acts a Fool, and this is another Warcraft tutorial. This tutorial I'm going to be talking more in depth on the auction house, even though it's going to be a rather short video. I'm going to touch on a few different areas. It kind of applies to all areas, but what I know best is mounts and things like dinosaur bones and bottom feeding is what I call the other thing, but we'll actually start with that. When you search on the auction house, you have the ability to change whether you look for the cheapest item or the most expensive item. You want to change that to where you're looking at the most expensive items first, and you're going to find that you see all the bids on top of that. Well, you want to check these bids because sometimes people put in the defaults by accident. I've done it before and lost thousands of gold. And when people do this, like say you're selling a mount or ore or something like that, where the default price is going to be way cheaper, you're going to lose out on all that money, and that's kind of what you're banking on when you're checking these bids. So what you do is you just go through, sometimes it's a page, sometimes it's 2 pages, and go and check all just the bids to see if there's any mistakes. And sometimes you actually will find things really cheap. Sometimes people like to put some of their item on bid at a lower price to draw in more people and forget about it, and you can get them there too as well. Another thing is I've noticed, and this is in as of April on Bleeding Hollow server, that dinosaur bones have just inflated, and sometimes it happens for a few days here and there, but it's actually been a couple weeks. So dinosaur bone farming at the Isle of Giants is also extremely lucrative, extremely easy to do. If you do it early in the morning or at night, you shouldn't have to fight too much for resources, but if you can't do a full lap, I wouldn't advise it. I only go after the giant dinosaurs. They offer the most bones. I don't really mess with anything under that. And another thing is mounts. At least on my server, sometimes people put mounts way cheaper than the normal price, and you can come up a couple thousand here and there, but if you have 30,000 gold and it's just sitting there, why not invest it into something, even if it increases your value by 1,000, 2, 3, 4,000 gold? So that's kind of the theory that I have there. I'm always constantly reinvesting, even if it's only for a gain of a couple thousand. Your money's not going anywhere if you don't have plans to spend it. So the mounts that I usually go for is Vial of the Sands. It goes for like 100k, up to 100k, but it'll sell between like 88 and 95. As soon as it drops, as soon as it drops under 84 to 82, I bid on it. And I bid on it because I'm patient and I know that more than likely I'm going to get it. You maybe have to sit on that mount for a week tops, wait for the price to inflate, and then put that mount up there, and you gain that. You know, if you can get 95k off of it, you've just made, you know, X amount of gold. And I even do it for the smallest, the wolves and the coil fist or whatever that's called. I mean, if they're ever on auction for under 1900 gold, I buy them and wait till they increase to 3000 gold. Boom, there's my profit. Swift Spring Strider is another one. If it drops under 18,000, I'll pick it up and wait for it to go to maybe 24, 25. All these are basically investments you want to make when you already have gold. My fillers are giant dinosaur bones. I mean, that's my organic gold growth right there. Either that, or when I'm bored, I'll go old school and go to Feralus and farm gold, thorn, and silver and gold, because that's one spot where you can get a good amount of all those things, and it's not a big cash crop, but it's something to do when you're bored. And I personally like to take other things. I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket. Even if it's less profitable, I'll farm random shit all the time just to have a lot of different stuff out there. So I'll do ores, I'll do dinosaur bones, mounts, sometimes armor depending. I'll run Ultimate like I have on my other walkthrough. I mean, it all just depends on how I'm feeling, but always make sure you check the auction house and the stride of it. Like, for example, when the Reigns of Poseidon dropped, I guess the drop rate increased, or the time that you had to do it decreased, something like that. But when that happened, the very first 2 days, I made over 200,000 gold just selling them, because people that were knowledgeable were putting them on for a lot cheaper. They knew that it was going to get inflated. I banked on the first 2 days that most people weren't going to find out. So I came up big, but now those have decreased from about 200,000 gold to like 30 or 40,000 gold. So my last tip would be always be aware of if a drop rate changes, if something like that happens, because if something's on auction house for extremely cheap, you want to make sure that it's not for a specific reason before you go and dump that money into it. This has been my tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you learned couple little tricks on the auction house. So hopefully it'll help you out. This has been J Cool Acts a Fool. Like, subscribe, and watch my video.